Spirit, my guardian angels, my loving light beings, please allow me to tune in to the frequency of the collective. What should the collective be made aware of, Holy Spirit? What should the collective be made aware of, Holy Spirit? Defense mechanism, guarded, hard to reach, kinky ways, fantasies and fetishes, sexually open, looking to explore, extra, dramatic, trying too hard, starter. Okay. What I'm getting is that there's someone that it could be romantic or it could just be someone that's around you that has a defense mechanism or has a way of hiding themselves, almost putting like, yeah, they're hiding themselves from what they're truly, how they truly are, right? With this kinky ways that's coming out, I'm kind of getting that it's like a defense mechanism, so they won't see what they really are, right? So you won't see who they really are. So this could look like someone who has, it doesn't have to be in a sexual way, but it could be. It could look like someone who is extremely insecure about the way they look or about or whatever insecurities they have, right? So it could be their defense mechanism to kind of put on this facade as in like they have everything, going for themselves, right? That can look like, let's just take like a masculine, right? Let's take like a masculine energy that they usually, let's say, what they usually try to do is they would have nice cars, nice clothes, everything of that nature as far as on the outside, but really they have this almost like it's, and when you look at this, card, I'm getting that it's kind of disturbing to look at, right? It's kind of disturbing to look at. So it's like they're really it's just their way to put on this facade of, well, if I wear this clown mask, if I do all this extra stuff, far as how I dress and how things of that nature, then no one really see that this is who I really am. So the energy already is, it looks like there is someone that's around you or used to be around you that is put on this facade, right? Or put on this defense mechanism so that way you really won't see who they truly are. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's grab the tarot. So, Holy Spirit, why is this brick wall here? That's a lot going on there. There's a lot going on there. Why is this brick wall here? Why is this brick wall here, Holy Spirit? So, yeah, this is clarifying that something. So we got the Eight of Cups in reverse. Okay, so give me a minute here. So yeah, this brick wall is here. So something from their past that they could have been that they're still juggling with right now, that they probably don't want you to be made aware of, is that something is from their past that they're trying to let go of, right? They're trying to let go of something, right? With this being extra clarifying with the Eight of Swords in reverse, that okay, so the Eight of Swords is all about, like, when you look at her, she has a blindfold on and she's completely bondaged up. Like she's just waiting for it to be ended. Like she's just waiting for it to be ended, because she knows it's like it's no way out of this, right? So she's just waiting for her, for her day to come, right? Basically, and she's just standing there. But within reverse, this is letting me know that they're not so stuck. So they are kind of aware of what they have to do. So they could be possibly in the process of maybe trying to unbind themselves from this, and this is why this extra card could be here. It could appear that this individual could be extremely like standoffish to you, or could be possibly you'll be like, well, what happened to you? Like, why are you doing all this all of a sudden? Or it could look like someone starting an argument out of the blue, and this is their defense mechanism to try to like push you away, because they know they don't want you to get too close to them, because it's like, well, if I let them get too close to me, then they're probably going to really see who I really am. And so it's like this individual is, they're aware of their patterns, right? So let's see, Holy Spirit. So already this energy that's around you, collective, is they have something from their past that really scarred them, that they're almost refusing to, it's like they're trying to move on from it, but it could be very hard for them to move on from it, right? Because I can't ignore that the Eight of Cups is here in reverse. Because the Eight of Cups is all about, you know, things from your past that you're letting go of, you know. But it's almost like this individual is kind of almost in a little bit of fear to try to work on that. So that's possibly why they could be juggling on if I should do it, should I not do it. But with this Eight of Swords, this could mean that, yeah, they're in their head about it. Like they're probably thinking like, well, I know I need to work on this, so let me just try and tell the collective, like, okay, just go about your way without really telling them like what's really going on. It's almost in a way of like, again, it's almost in a way that they're putting on this facade, like, okay, like everything is fine, but it's really not, right? So it's almost like it's saying that it's saying that something from their past has really scarred this individual, and possibly you could have triggered something in this individual. You could have triggered something in this individual to make them want to think, well, maybe I should go ahead and balance this out. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. And the Eight of Swords is clarifying, like, well, they're actually thinking about maybe going on this healing process instead of just being stuck here. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what I want to know, Holy Spirit, is what possibly from the past has happened to this individual that made them stuck. What is from the past that made this individual stuck? What from the past has made this individual stuck? What from the past has made this individual stuck, Holy Spirit? What from the past has made this individual feel stuck? Oh, that's too many, Holy Spirit. That's too many. Come on. What from the past has made this individual feel stuck, Holy Spirit? So we got the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. Give me more on the Wheel of Fortune, Holy Spirit. Give me more on the Wheel of Fortune, Holy Spirit. What from the past has made this individual feel stuck? What from the past has made this individual feel stuck? So we got the Page of Pentacles. Okay. What from the past has made this individual feel stuck is clarify this with the Oracle deck. One moment. came out, the cleanse, detox, ridding negativity, and purification. So something from this person past, which is what I'm getting, is what some cycle they were in. Some cycle this individual was in that has either caused them to have to restart back over in their life, or they couldn't. Okay, it has caused this individual to, they have to restart back over in their life somewhat or way. It could be like a divorce. It could be like getting divorced. It could be something of like child support. It could be something, moving out. It could be losing a job. Something of that nature that has this individual, they were deeply, because with the Wheel of Fortune here, they were deeply like trauma bonded against this, because it's almost feel like they had to start all over and go back to a page, right? So it's like, look how he's looking at this pinnacle, and he's like manifesting on, he's like so determined, right? He's so determined, and he's like manifesting, oh please, like, with this one pinnacle, like, let me just start over, right? So it's like this individual almost had to detox and probably let go a lot of stuff. And for whatever reason, you have triggered something in this individual that maybe they don't want, maybe they feel like you are triggering something in the past from them, to the point where they have to put on this defense mechanism, because they're like, oh, I don't want to have to restart over my life again. I'm fine where I'm at, because thinking about my past, thinking about this is, well, it's kind of hard to deal with, right? It's kind of hard to deal with. Like, some individuals, it may be easier said than done, right? But some individuals probably want to protect their own pinnacle so much that they put on this way of just like, oh, well, this he or she didn't, the collective, the divines didn't want to deal with me anyway, so it's like, oh, well, let me just go about my way. So this could very much well be someone who is well off, maybe financially, or it appears to be, or whatever, like they have everything together, right? But, or they're so closed off to love, or to a new beginning with something, that the thought of starting something new could very much well be challenging for them, which is why they're in this Two of Pentacles energy, right? They're going back and forth on whether or not, or they're going to be thinking about on whether or not how to proceed with you, because they are thinking about, well, what if I go ahead and let this go? So what happened in this person's past is they had to restart something all over again, right? They had to restart something all over again, and it's something that you possibly could be triggering in this person, that is making them want to go in a defense mechanism. So let's see. What is it that the collective is currently triggering? What is it that the collective is currently triggering right now to make this person feel like they have to put on defense mechanism? What is it that the collective is triggering? What are they triggering? Holy Spirit, what are they triggering? So we have the High Priestess that came out in reverse. So what's triggering for them is what's yeah, this lack of emotional control. This lack of emotional control. So when some people are not like, when some people are blocked off to love, some people pride themselves and they're working in their ego on to having emotional control, right? On having this lack of their higher self, I would say, right? Or I'm not going to say their higher self. I'm just going to say the high priestess is all about this inner knowing, this inner calling, this inner just this inner knowing, right? And lacking emotional control is not an inner knowing, like, oh, like, so this is why this individual is very triggered. They could be very scared in a way. They could be very scared in a way to the point where they just have to do all this extra stuff, right? Do all this extra stuff to make you feel like, let me just push her away because he or she is just getting too close to me. So that's what's triggering this person, is that they don't have any emotional control to, like, they're losing their grip to. This could be like a playboy or playgirl who pride themselves in, they have the upper hand, right? They have the upper hand, right? So that's could be very triggering for them. Okay, so with this kinky ways and this Two of Pentacles, what I want to know is, Holy Spirit, is what is this? Give me a minute. So we know what something in their past that they had to restart over from, and they possibly could have like been really in love with someone, and they possibly their past person probably could have hurt them in a way where they had to again restart all over again, and you are triggering that same love in a way, or that same like, like this heart chakra is being activated, let me just be standoffish or do the most, right? Because I don't have any emotional control. So let's see. So Holy Spirit, so let's see, Holy Spirit, what could the collective's person that they're tied into, what is this? Give me more on this Two of Pentacles, Holy Spirit. Give me more on this Two of Pentacles. Uh-oh, it fell on the ground. So we got the Queen of Swords. I'm almost getting, what I'm kind of getting with this is, let me clarify this before I say that. Let me clarify this with the Oracle deck. Why is the Queen of Swords here, Holy Spirit? Why is the Queen of Swords here? Dirty money. Okay, what I'm getting with this is, with this dirty money that came out, is they want to make sure that they're going to be making the right decision by coming towards you. They want to make sure that before I let this mask clip, before I clean this dirty money up, before I come clean, I want to make sure that what I'm doing is going to be the right decision. So this is probably why they're in this Eight of Swords energy. So it's like they could be going back and forth, almost in a little way on before I come forward and let my mask fall off and come in this genuine way. Then I want to make sure that I got all my ducks in a row, that everything this is the right decision. With the Queen of Swords, like, the Queen of Swords is, again, it's making sure that you make the right decision, making sure that you make the right decision. Okay, so this is why this is here. So this person is definitely, it's just clarifying, this Queen of Swords is just clarifying that the Two of Pentacles is here on if their kinky ways, which again, it doesn't have to be in a sexual way, but it could be whatever this kinky way is. I'm also kind of like almost like a devilish energy, right? When I'm looking at it, the kinky ways could be a devilish energy. So by them coming towards you in a certain way, they're just thinking like, well, is this going to be the right decision, or is it going to be, this individual could be very much so like an air sign. It doesn't have to be, but it could be someone who is very much so like, they don't really think too much from their heart space. They don't really think too much of their heart space. They really think logically. They think more from a logical standpoint. And from a logical standpoint, it could be very cautious to them, right? Yeah, it could be very cautious to them. What actions could they be taking, Holy Spirit? What actions could they be taking? Give me more. So this is what flipped out, y'all, on what actions they could be taking. More Swords energy. This is like they keep going back and forth. Like, this individual could be very much so scared to let their guard down. It's something very, it's not as easy as you guys think. It's not as easy because when you go on this healing journey, when you really face your shadow side, it could be things from your past that you thought you healed from, or you thought that didn't affect you. But when you go on that, it really does affect you, right? It really does have you thinking like, it's not as easy as some people think to go on a healing journey. Because for me, for example, it took me a while to recover from what I went through. Let's see. So it really came out like this, but I'm going to take it like this. This came out in reverse, but I'm going to take it like this because I feel like it fits this energy. I don't think it fits Well, let's clarify this. Let's clarify this. Hold on. Let me clarify this. Can you clarify what actions this individual could be taking? So I feel like the actions this individual could be taking is, I feel like they're just going to be heavily focusing on, they're going to be either heavily focusing on their finances right now, or they're going to be, let me ask this really quick before I say that. How does the collective, okay, the person that the collective is currently tied up to, how do they currently feel about the collective? How do they currently feel about the divine? How do they currently feel about the divine, Holy Spirit? How do they currently feel about the divine? How do they currently feel about the divine? Again, this is very triggering for this person. They feel chained down. They feel like it's unhealthy. They feel weighed down in some way, which is, again, why they keep going back and forth, back and forth. They keep going back and forth about if they should come towards you, right? Wait a minute, because we got the Queen of Swords here. They just want to make sure that they're going to be making the right decision about coming towards you. They want to be sure about this decision that they're going to make. So, their future actions with how they're currently feeling towards you is they're just going to be, they're going to be focusing on, they're going to be focusing on their finances, or their 3D things that they have to focus on. They could be possibly dealing with some type of conflict, some type of misfortune that's going on around them, and again, this is their defense mechanism on to probably to push you away, so that way they can maybe focus on their finances or focus on what they have to deal with at this moment. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're not going to be coming. This is just the current energy right now. But this individual is heavily in their head about something that's going on around them, or something they have to deal with in the 3D, and they're trying to restore their balance. They're trying to restore their balance in a way. So let's ask, what is the advice here for the collective? What is the advice here? Holy Spirit, what is the advice for the collective? What is the advice? Clarify that, Holy Spirit. So we got the Empress at the bottom. We have receipts. We have the Ten of Swords in reverse. And then we have the Six of Cups in reverse. I feel like Holy Spirit is saying that you could possibly be thinking to yourself maybe what you have done wrong. And it's like you possibly could be thinking like, well, what did I do wrong? Or where did I go wrong? Or did I do something? Did I say something? You could be possibly thinking about that. But Holy Spirit is saying that the Holy Spirit is saying that you need to try to. This also could be like this could also be like a this could also be like a very like someone from your past, right? This relationship could also mean that this is a soulmate connection, right? Or possibly a twin flame, right? It could possibly be. But either way, this is a individual that you feel deeply connected to on a soul level. And you could possibly be feeling like, again, you did something wrong, or you almost feel insecure in a way. But Holy Spirit wants you to know that you shouldn't let no one take that power away from you to make you feel like you're less than or you're not enough in a way. Especially with the Empress being at the bottom of the deck here, is at the bottom of the deck. Here, I'm gonna flip it over. The Empress is all about, the Empress is so beautiful, right? The Empress is all about nurturing. It's all about fertility. It's all about healing. It's all about being creative, being this fun, free spirited, right? And not letting, because it takes more energy to be upset. It takes more energy to be in that heavy, doubtful, and that heavy, just low vibrational energy, right? To the point where it's hard to try to get out of that, right? It's hard to try to see the brighter side. But Spirit wants you to know that just because this individual is not working out with this individual, it doesn't mean that you can't, it doesn't mean that you can't necessarily attend to your own garden, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that you can't find your own self-fulfilling ways, right? So yeah, this Spirit just wants you to try to get out of that, especially with the Ten of Swords at the bottom. So you could have went through a cycle with this individual, and this cycle has to come to, or this cycle has came to an end, or is going to be coming to an end, which is why you shouldn't feel guilty about what has happened, because it was, whatever happened, it was divinely guided for a reason. It was divinely guided for this to happen, for you to actually to come into your own Empress energy. You know, the Empress energy, I love the Empress. She's this healing, nurturing, fun, spirited energy who it's a lighthearted energy, right? She's very lighthearted, and she has to get to the Empress. You have to go through a lot of obstacles within your life to get to the Empress, right? And you have to be strong. You have to have the willpower. So the advice here is to go out there and don't let this clown, right? Don't let this clown who is still going back and forth, okay, about what they done did in the past, or what happened to them in the past, about what their mama did, or whatever Keisha and them or whoever did to them. Don't let that individual affect you for what you have to do, because they're still in the near future. They're still going to be there's something going on in their life. There's something in their future that they're still going to be focusing heavily on, to the point where it kind of has their attention more, right? So don't let this clown affect you for how you stand your own ground, right? A queen, an empress, she doesn't chase. Okay, she doesn't chase. She allows what comes naturally, right? She almost like, well, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, right? That type of thing. So again, this cycle is about to come to an end, or it has already ended. Don't feel guilty about what has happened, or don't leave yourself in the past on, like, don't, Spirit is saying, don't keep yourselves there in the past, right? Don't don't drown yourselves in the past. It can cause a lot of anxiety. It can cause depression, and you get rewarded from the universe when, like, the universe can't send in your blessing until you have released everything from your past. The universe can't send you this beautiful gift if you still wondering about where the raggedy old package is from 2 weeks ago. Like, Spirit is trying to send you in a new gift, but you still turning your back around to the raggedy gift from 2 weeks ago from the post office that hasn't still even arrived yet. It's like, well, where my package at? So yeah, I hope this reading was helpful. I hope that it did resonate with someone out there. And all right, peace out, divines. Take care. Bye.